And we are live.
All right, 5:30 having arrived. I'd like to call to order our Finance and Personnel Committee meeting on Monday, July 10th, 2023. I'll take roll call at this time.
Alder West,
Present.
Alder Horton,
Present.
Alder Land,
Present.
Alder Paffrath,
Here.
Alder McCarthy's excused. That completes roll call.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes for May 30th, 2023. Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved by Vice Chair Horton and seconded by Alder Land. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, minutes carry. First item.
First item 0689-23, subject communication sponsored by Mayor Mason, requesting permission to enter into a property agreement with Racine Unified School District that includes various properties for redevelopment within the city of Racine. Staff recommendation that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the property agreement with Racine Unified School District and all other necessary documents to effectuate the transfer of the properties. Fiscal note, nominal closing costs and recorded fees will be the responsibility of the city and mayor. To this item.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
So good evening, everyone. Thanks everyone for having the opportunity to talk about this item. I want to also acknowledge that Brian O'Connell with Racine Unified School District is here with us this evening. As some of you may recall, a couple of years ago now, in the midst of COVID, the school district did pass a building referendum to rebuild and build anew several schools throughout the school district. This is in some ways an agreement that stems from that opportunity for the community. And so there is a need that the school district has for some land near the schools that they have, and then an opportunity for redevelopment of schools that have long been facilities in our community that can find a new life as mixed use and residential opportunities. So just to run through it, broadly speaking, the items that we're talking about, people may recall where the Franklin School or Walden site was at 10th and Center. That building has now been demolished. That will be replaced with a new STEM school or STEM or STEAM.
Both.
Okay. That will focus on science, technology, education, arts, and math. And in that space, as somebody who went there when Walden was in the middle school there's the park behind it. When I was a student there, I just assumed that the park behind it was part of the school, but in fact, it is Franklin Park. It is a part of the city's park system. The footprint of what the school district is hoping to do on that site is a larger school than what was there currently, and they are looking to acquire the Franklin Park to incorporate into the land. They'll be able to do redevelopment, still allowing for space, for green space to allow the community to play on playground equipment, but allowing them to expand beyond the footprint of the current site that they have. In exchange, there are schools that have either been closed or will close as part of the reorganization from this space. Those are Winslow, which is between College and Park on 14th. It is James School, which is on Main Street, so you may be familiar with. And the final one is the building where Red Apple currently resides. Those are all buildings that in this trade would come into the city's possession for redevelopment. Some of you may be familiar with Lincoln School, which is on State Street, just before it turns into Northwestern. That's a former school that now has seen use and enjoyed a second life as a residential space for seniors in our community. It is our hope that those three buildings would provide a real win-win for the community, and as much as these are redevelopment sites that allow us to put those spaces into use for much needed housing in our community, and as a plus for both the city and the school district, put the land back on the tax rolls. There's some other minor pieces, the space between the Lincoln King Community Center that's being discussed and the Julian Thomas site has some lines that they'll be reconfigured around the parking lot, but for the most part, those are the key constituencies of it. And lastly, the district has agreed to work with us and be public with not only the city, but the public generally on the hiring that they're doing for the projects and making sure that we at least have some accounting for the number of local community members who have the opportunities to work on the positions. And so that's sort of an overview of it. I'm sure Brian will could have done a better and fairer job with my summary of it. But I do want to say before I hand the floor over to Brian, if it pleases the chair, we were very fortunate as a city to have as a school board member, our retired director of city development, who's made this process very helpful, and we are very fortuitous to have him continue to serve the public in this way. And if it pleases the chair, I'd like to hand it over to Mr. O'Connell, just to give an update from the school board.
You can take a moment. if you like. You have the floor, sir.
Wow, William, you didn't have this back in the day. The mayor really summed it up thoroughly. So there isn't too much for me to add. I'll take questions. The one thing I'd emphasize is this was conceived of as a partnership from the start. We knew that there were opportunities to work with the city. And in particular, where buildings become available for redevelopment, which the school board does not do. So to be able to use the city, have the city as a partner to address those opportunities is, I think, a great thing. Hopefully you will agree. Other questions?
Questions? Alder Pepper, yeah.
I don't know if this is a question for you or for you, Mr. Mayor. Are there developers that have given us any interest in looking at these properties?
There are developers who come to the school board and express interest, particularly in the old schools that the mayor listed because of their potential historic status and use of historic preservation tax credits, as was done with the Lincoln School. We don't do redevelopment, and until the new facilities are constructed, we really can't offer the buildings. So we're trying to work this out for a seamless handoff. One thing which has as a factor and where the development agreement will be phased is, for example, Jane's School. Jane's, we found we are going to reopen as an overflow school for Durstad, while Durstad is undergoing renovation. We call it Janestad. So it'll probably be for a year while the low grades in Durstad are remodeled. It has turned out to be more efficient to do that relocation and actually run a shuttle up Main Street to during that 1 year period. So that's an example of some of the phasing that will occur. But with the agreement in hand, it's really intended to be seamless.
And then in terms of responsibility for maintenance for the properties, that won't obviously happen until the city won't be responsible for that until the transfer happens.
Exactly. Until we are done with the building, you will not hand it off to the city. But that's a good point. In the Case Franklin Playfield, we'll take over maintenance of that. And that will lift some of the financial burden from the city. The intention, as the mayor said, is still to have it open for the community, as we do with playgrounds at other schools.
I think it would be premature to say that we have any specific plans on what to do with the sites. With all these sites, I've learned long ago that you really don't have the ability to start making a plan until you have site control of the space. From there, though, we should be able to think about marketing it. Just to put a little more context on the question you asked, with Pathrath and Brian's answer, we do plan on staggering when we come into possession of those buildings to meet the district's needs, but also just to be candid. I mean, we wouldn't have the ability to redevelop all three of them tomorrow, right? And so, I mean, what I've learned is all these deals take time and creative financing and a lot of attention. And so that's the reason we'll stagger them out over time to ensure that we're able to do that. And as excited as the Red Apple new building may be, there's still students that are attending Red Apple now, so we wouldn't take it over immediately. Whereas Winslow is closed for some time, I imagine will be the first one that comes into our possession.
Okay, man, you have the floor.
Yeah, I couldn't get my thing open here. I think this is a great agreement for both the city of Racine and Racine Unified. I just want to know what grades are gonna be at that school.
Red Apple will expand from a K-5 to a K-8, which is our pattern now. We
Okay,
are, the district is moving to a K model. So Starbuck will be K-8. Most of our schools will be K-8 in the future.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, this might be in there, I'm not sure. So when we're talking about the workforce and hiring people that live in the community, would that be the hiring, would that be on our city already ordinance that we have where or would it be with the school? Because the school has a committee that they have a workforce and hire people through CG Smith and some of the other construction. So just want to know, would it be the city part or
Yeah.
school?
So the agreement itself isn't covered by our ordinance, because they're for a city incentivized plan, right? But the school district, to its credit, has worked with CG Schmidt and has a district-wide approach to be able to hire locally. The concern, the data that I was looking for was, it would give you more precise and show us of those hires, how much of them are city residents versus non-city residents. Because we'd like some transparency on of those hires that occur, how many were coming from the city. CG Schmidt, as we know from other projects that the city's done, have been very good in working with us on the city works. They had several listening sessions before things got underway on how they were going to approach the local hire and how they were going to deal with the subs and local contracts. So I have confidence that having sat through the formation of the criteria that the district's come up with, it's been pretty good. We've even heard from some of the building trades that there might be some pieces of Racine Unified's plan that we might want to consider adopting to strengthening our own program. So I have confidence that it'll do what it needs to do. We needed a little more transparency on how many city residents versus non-city residents to assuage the concern and for our ability to tell our own constituents, of the school district's investment here, how many people from the city got an opportunity to fill that space. Brian, I don't know if you have anything else.
Well, just that we are comfortable with the approach that's been struck in that report.
Any further questions for Brian or the mayor? Seeing none at this time, I'll make a motion to approve entering into a property agreement with Racine School District, item number 0689-23. All right. Properly second by Alderman Patwa. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Next item.
Next item, 0687-23, communication sponsored by Mayor Mason on behalf of the fire chief, requesting permission to transfer $50,000 from fire department account 13001-50300 to account 13001-53800 training. Staff recommendation that the finance director be authorized to transfer $50,000 from account 13001-50300 to account 13001-53800. Fiscal note budget neutral. Lead Chief Hansen speaking on this item.
Good evening. I've got Assistant Chief Wolf here in case I get lost. Alder West, members of the Finance Committee, thank you for the opportunity to present this evening. The fire department, in our latest hiring, we're not able to hire enough paramedics to have them in the pipeline as they move up for promotions within the department. Of the 22 that we hired, only 2 were paramedics, the rest were more EMT basics. Historically, we always try to intermix paramedics with EMT, so we always have a few in the different groups. So as they advance with their careers, we have people to fill in on the rescue squads as time goes on. With the recent hires, there really wasn't a lot of paramedics out there to be hired. And it's an issue that not only are we being challenged, but all the fire departments in Wisconsin are being challenged with finding paramedics. Since COVID hit us really hard a couple of years ago, and we're seeing some of the after effects now, we're not seeing as many people come out of paramedic school. And I think even the health department, Dottie K can speak to the fact that it's hard to find nurses right now. What we are doing with this request is transferring funds from one account that we anticipate a surplus towards the end of the year to a training account that will allow us to send 5 individuals to paramedic training starting in August of this year. They will go to Gateway Technical College, they will be trained as paramedics, and they will do it while continuing to work for the fire department. So when they're working, we'll release them from duty to go and sit in paramedic class, and then on their days off, they would attend paramedic class as well. It's a 9-month training program. They start in August, and they graduate around May of every year. And the individuals that we have selected will fit into this program very, very well. And it's something that we're probably going to have to do every year for the next couple of years, just to make sure that 5, 10, 15 years from now, we have adequate paramedics within the program, so that as folks retire, we have people that can take their places. As the fiscal note mentions, it is budget neutral. We're not asking for any contingency funds. This is just a transfer within the fire department budget. Since the budget was approved by the common council, these types of transfers we would have to come to finance and ultimately the council next week. So respectfully, we request their consideration.
Any questions at this time? Pat?
Is there anything in place that will guarantee that they will stay in the department after getting the paramedic training for a period of time, so that we don't pay for their training and then have them move elsewhere?
We have a training reimbursement that they have to sign, that if they were to leave within the next 3 years, they would have to reimburse us for the cost based on, a percentage of how long they stay. The individuals that are going to paramedic school have been with us for quite a while, for 5, 6 years, so they're not going anywhere. Never say never, but
Yeah.
highly unlikely that they're going to.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You bet.
Any other questions? At this time, I'll entertain a motion for item 0687-23.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All right, moved by Alderman Paffrath, and seconded by Vice Chair Horton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, thanks, you, Pat.
Thank you for your time this evening.
No problem. Next item.
Item 0672-23. Subject communication sponsored by Alder West on behalf of the Transit and Mobility Director, requesting permission to accept $1,235,000 from the United States Department of Energy through congressionally directed spending for the development of a solar array at 1900 Kentucky Street transit facility and energy savings improvements. Staff recommendation that the mayor and city clerk be granted permission to accept $1.235 million from the United States Department of Energy through congressionally directed spending for the development of a solar array at 1900 Kentucky Street transit facility and energy savings improvements, grant control number 00520. Fiscal note, total cost of project amounts to $2,599,673 with local match of at least 50% and ARPA energy allocations of $1,364,673. Grant control 00520. Transit and Mobility Director Trevor Young is speaking to this item today.
Thank you very much, members of the committee, Chairman. We are very excited as the Transit Department to bring this item to you today, as it is a 100% federally funded project that will return dividends in terms of operational savings to our fixed route bus transit system. We're excited to have McKinstry here today to present more in depth about this project, even though you're all well aware that the department has a commitment to the 3 S's of sustainability, service, and savings. So with that, we have Laura, Brent, and Nick here from McKinstry to talk about where we've been on this project, where we are today, and what it will take to get over the finish line to build a solar array at our transit garage so that we can be the first transit department in the state of Wisconsin to have our EV buses powered in part by this. So with that, I'll hand it over to our friend from McKinstry. Oh, sorry.
One was kindly offered to help us.
Not gonna find it.
All right, well, committee members, chair of the committee, thank you so much for having us today. We are very excited to share a bit about the Sustainability and Decarbonization Project, which has been approved and will receive federal funding through congressionally directed spending. On behalf of Time, I'll just introduce our team. My name is Laura Molowitz. I'm our energy solutions provider here in Minnesota and Wisconsin. This is Brent Schmidt. He is our senior energy engineer and project developer of this project. And we have Nick Wabash right here, who is our regional director who oversees all of our energy projects across the state of Wisconsin. Thank you, Pam. So just a bit about McKinstry. We are a national energy company. We provide turnkey energy projects all across the nation, but we have a very robust business here in the state of Wisconsin. We have done about $350 million worth of these specific types of energy projects and energy contracts just in the past few years, and we are a fee-based company, which means we meet all of the states and the city's competitive bidding requirements. We are very committed to the city of Racine. We actually have been working and partnering with the city of Racine for years on a myriad of sustainability and energy efficiency projects, this just being one of them, and probably at least at this point, the most exciting one. We bring a vast amount of technical expertise and solutions in terms of solar and EV charging and energy efficiency and conservation. We bring a great deal of expertise from the regulatory perspective, in which working with the federal government and the Department of Energy, we are actually the only firm right now working with the Department of Energy to successfully fund a project through this same funding source. So that's very unique, and we look forward to bringing that to the transit department and accelerating the approval process and making that as painful as possible for the city. Oh yeah, painless. Oh, yeah. No, we're painless. Poor Trevor. Yeah, and so about the vision of this project, we started off on this path to create a true innovation project in sustainability for both transit and city operations. The goal is to offset the EV bus charging of the EV transit buses that ride with renewable energy. This will be the first in the state of Wisconsin to do this. So this is a champion project that will be probably likely receive a lot of awards and will be looked to as inspiration for other cities, other transit operations, the state, and even other states. We also wanted to drive more savings to one of the 3 S's, savings, by incorporating other energy efficiencies across the city. So this project will actually become a revenue generating project for the city. And then of course, to package up a project that met all of the requirements of a congressionally directed spending project, of which we applied to in 2002. And so this is the project and what it's evolved into. So we arrived on the Sustainability and Decarbonization Project. It amounts to about the 2.6 million, although you'll see in your packets the exact number, 2599673. It includes sustainable components across the city, energy efficiencies, as well as this solar carport. And so we thought we would do is just walk you around the site a little bit, and I'll have Brent, who is really the mastermind and the engineer behind this championship project.
Yeah, so we went through a lot of different iterations of, how can we maximize the amount of solar that would be on the site, and we kind of landed on using as much as the east side and the south side as possible. So here you can see kind of a rendering of what the finished array will look like. We've ensured that the heights of the arrays will be such that we're not going to be in any issues with the heights of the buses. They'll wanted to make sure that we have plenty of turning radius for the buses to get in and through. So we won't have any issues from that perspective. If you want to keep scrolling down, I think there's a few more, just a couple more, renderings of different angles that we'll be looking at. We'll be using the existing or newly existing transformer to bring the power into the bus specific for the charging. And so it's going to be tied into that specifically. A couple more angles. We've got utility grade modules on this and inverters. So we're looking at a little over 500 modules for between both of the arrays. And they're 530 watt modules if you're interested individually. So we're getting up there with the amount of energy that we'll be producing. And yeah, just some cool renderings of what the finished product will look like.
And then for the next part too, as part of this project, we are incorporating some technology. This actually will tap into some of the other sustainability initiatives across the city. So we're able to provide a real comprehensive overlook of energy use and utility use across the city. So we'll be tracking how much the solar array will be generating, and you can see how much we're generating versus how much we're using, and we can publish that on public sites so that the city can use that in your communication plan for your achievements in sustainability, however you like. Like I said, we've been on this road, the transit pun, for some time, but this really was, I have to say, we should applaud the proactiveness of Mayor Mason, Mr. Gordon Holt, Trevor and his team, because when we knew that the congressionally directed spending application was going to come out in 2022 or last year, we were prepared to package up a project that would just sing to the needs of that funding. And so that project was awarded funding and was provided in the federal government's fiscal bill in early of this year. And in March of this year, we were selected as the city's energy partner to be able to provide these services to the city. The goal, as Trevor had mentioned, is to have this be fully federally funded. So through congressionally directed spending, as well as ARPA funds. And what that means is the city will start to see savings immediately. So as soon as we turn that system on, we anticipate that the city will be saving about $76,000 a year in utility spend. So we're trying to reduce that utility bill as much as we possibly can. So that speaks to one of your other S's, savings. Here are just some of the benefits. So in addition to being a leadership project, we will be first in the state of Wisconsin to offset transit buses with renewable energy and saving money. We're also reducing carbon by a significant amount, which will contribute to the city's achievement of the Paris Climate Accord commitment, and also offsetting gas vehicles to the tune of 24,000 vehicles a year. It'll also offset the charging of 5 of the electric buses. As Brent alluded to, we've maximized as much as we possibly can. I'm proud to say that we're going to be offsetting those 5 buses. Next slide, Pam. And here's now what we're up against is the Department of Energy has kickstarted the project. Trevor and I actually had a meeting this morning. We are now to follow and prepare our project to submit to the Department of Energy. There's lots of forms and budget things that we have to come up with. And again, to the proactiveness of the city, because we have already done a detailed engineering study through our energy partnership, we are very prepared to meet this cause and to do it in a very tight timeline. So we'll have to do all this within the next couple months. And of course, we still have to build it. So although we have a project designed, we have to build it, and we have to also work with the Department of Energy. And thus we're asking for your feedback and comments of moving into a guaranteed energy savings agreement so that we can continue our partnership and start finalizing the design, working on implementation, doing final bidding, working with the Department of Energy, measuring and verifying, and bringing this project to fruition, because it's our goal to deliver this sustainability leadership project for the city of Racine and RIDE, and do so with a fully funded project through the federal government. And so we'd love to hear your questions and comments and feedback.
All right, the floor is open for any questions that we all may have. Alderman.
I just think this is really exciting, and I'd like to thank everybody for their hard work in accomplishing this. Great news.
Yes. Well, and the city has been phenomenal to work with. I mean, we would not have been able to do this without them being proactive and being able to put together an application for this funding to get that congressionally directed spending. They give you 2 weeks to fill out an application, so I was joke with Paul that I'm still shaking over the process.
Worry too much.
John Rooney and team are great too on the technical side, so we appreciate that. There's a lot of moving parts, as you can imagine, getting this through, so we appreciate that.
Any other questions on the background?
Thank you. So it looks like there's the match of ARPA funding. Was that something that was budgeted for in the current year budget using ARPA funds? So that's already been set aside?
So this was a specific energy. I'm pretty sure that this is where Kathleen sourced it, Crystal, if I'm wrong on this, but I believe this was our direct allocation out of ARPA energy efficiency from Blackrock.
Okay. So it's already money that's been,
It was allocated, it was a direct allocation to the city of Racine, and now we're applying it to this project.
got it. Okay. Was there another project that we thought maybe we'd use it for? Or we were waiting for the right project?
Yeah, Crystal, I don't think there was any.
I'm thinking waiting for the right project. I don't think it was earmarked for anything in particular before that.
Okay, thank you. And then in terms of longevity and future maintenance on the panels and the equipment, is that going to have budgetary implications in the future? This is the building of it.
We do have the first 3 years of operations and maintenance plan built in.
Okay,
So we'll be working with the city to go through that. The modules themselves are, have a 25-year warranty.
okay,
The inverters are, a lifespan of roughly 12 to 15 years, but we've got that kind of included within all of the pro formas. So we can show how the project is still a fantastic, project for the city to move forward with. So, yeah, there is an operations component to it, but it's not significant.
thank you.
And I forgot to mention as well, like, that's okay. Focus on Energy also has incentives that we will be applying for, and the check will go straight to the city. So on top of the federal funding of the project, Focus on Energy will be sending the city a check for the implementation as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I really love the direction that the city and Director Young and his team has taken on since he's been the director. Anytime that we can accept millions of dollars, save money, and to be the first is something always being said about being the first. So I'll make a motion to approve item 0672-23 at this time. Second. All right, properly second by Vice Chair. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carried.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Next item, 0673-23, communication sponsored by Arder West on behalf of the Transit and Mobility Director, requesting permission to enter into a guaranteed energy savings agreement with McKinstry Ascension LLC for the purpose of final design, implementation, and measurement verification of the solar array at 1900 Kentucky Street Transit Facility and energy savings improvements. Staff recommendation that the mayor and city clerk be granted permission to enter into a guaranteed energy savings agreement with McKinstry Ascension LLC for the purpose of final design, implementation, and measure and verification of a solar array at 1900 Kentucky Street Transit Facility and energy savings improvements. Fiscal note, total turnkey project cost amounts to $2,599,673, which includes previously appropriated investment grade audit, Final design, implementation, and measure and verification funded through the United States Department of Energy and ARPA Energy Funds. Congressionally directed spending requires a minimum of 50% in local match. Staff recommends utilizing one-time ARPA Energy funds for local match. Project costs will be funded as follows: local appropriated ARPA energy dollars, $1,364,673. Congressionally directed spending, $1,235,000. And Transit Mobility Director Trevor Young will speak to this item as well.
Thank you very much, members of the committee, Mr. Chair. We just completed the process of accepting these funds, and so now we have in front of us an opportunity to utilize these funds. So today, what we are proposing is entering into a guaranteed energy savings agreement with McKinstry to ensure that we can take this project across the finish line. We've worked with McKinstry from the beginning to make sure that we can be successful in this work, whether it be our facility conditions assessment to preliminary engineering and design of this particular project to now working through Department of Energy requirements. We are excited about our continued work with McKinstry to make sure that we can build this project in the timeline expected from the Department of Energy. As we heard, this is not a years-long project. We're looking at in a couple of weeks, certain deadlines that are a couple of months out. So we really want to engage with our partners who have the experience and wherewithal along this project to make sure that we can expedite and still be eligible to build this solar array and begin charging our electric fleet with the power of the sun. And more broadly speaking, if we zoom out about 40,000 feet, we have the largest electric fleet per capita in the state of Wisconsin. When our 4 new electrics arrive, we will have almost 40% of our transit fleet being electrified. Those buses will in part be charged with completely renewable energy, which is 100% American made. That is something that we as a community should be proud of. And it wouldn't be possible without the Common Council's commitment to this type of project, knowing that if we save taxpayer dollars, if we continue to invest in our public services, and we are good stewards of our planet, that's how you provide the excellent service that we expect here in Racine. So thank you.
Any questions? I guess there's an overlap from the first one, so. Questions? No? All right, I entertain a motion to approve at this time. Yes. All right, second. All right, moved by Alder Paffrath and seconded by the chair. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you, sir. Next item.
Item 0600-23, subject communication sponsored by Mayor Mason, submitting bid results for contract 2023164, RFP Group Violence Intervention, GBI. Staff recommendation that the contract 2023164, RFP Group Violence Intervention, GBI, be awarded to Research Foundation of Cooney National Network for Safe Communities at John Jay College of Criminal Justice for the amount of $150,000, they being the responsible bidder. Fiscal note, and there's an administrative correction to this fiscal note. Funding is available $450,000, and the correct account should be 20314-43320-20149, the Wisconsin Community Safety Fund, and that correction will be reflected in the minutes.
So
Public-
it's 450, not 150?
It's $150,000, just a different account number for the
Oh,
funding
okay,
source.
okay. Scared me for a minute.
No, so $150,000. So just to repeat, that funding is available for the $150,000, and the correction is the account and the funding source, 20314-43320-20149, and that's the Wisconsin Community Safety Fund. And for the Public Health Administrator, Gary K. Lauer, so speak on the next couple items.
Thank you, Crystal. And thank you all for the opportunity to be here speaking and for your time. At the same time, the purchasing agent has left me a script. She was unable to be here. So I guess as we go through the bidding process and we go through contracts, we have a script that she reads. She's asked me if I would present that to you this evening. So I'll start out with that. The goal of this RFP is to promote and ensure the fairest, most efficient means to obtain the benefits of the most qualified, responsible, and responsive proposals. We are seeking the implementation of strategic interventions to reduce violence and improve public safety, minimize arrest and incarceration, and strengthen relationships between police and communities. Serious violence in the United States is concentrated in historically disadvantaged communities of color, particularly among young men in those communities. The RFP was advertised in the newspaper and online on 5/25 and 5/26. The RFP was broadcasted to 132 bidders and 3 plan holders. 3 of the bids were downvoted. 1 bid was received. The recommendation is to contract with the Group Violence Intervention, it's GVI, be awarded to the Research Foundation of GUNY National Network for Safe Communities, the NNSC, a lot of acronyms, at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice for the amount of $150,000, they being the responsive and responsible bidder. Now with this, and within the framework of the bid, this is part of the violence prevention program through the mayor's office and through the public health department with the public or the police department. And so this consulting group will assist the manager of the Office of Violence Prevention in developing a strategic plan for the city of Racine.
Any questions?
I'll probably just elaborate just a little bit if you can.
Oh, sure, please do all.
So DBI and the Group Violence Intervention, they have already started kind of like some of the consulting work. We have, when I say we, I mean the county, we've been working with GBI. We had a couple of trainings with the consultants, so we kind of like, and it's all centered around violence and it's all centered around, with the city, moving forward with their OVP. So it's probably Sasha that was probably going to be here tonight. So so I met her, had an opportunity to talk to her. So I think this is, anything to help the city move forward, especially when it's centered around gang violence and retaliatory shootings and all that. I think that it's a must for the city. It's something that we have to really, really move forward on. So the consultant has been here. We've already done a training with Racine Unified, with Racine County, and also some of the police officers and gang units. So we had our training already. So, but we're still in the process of training and doing more with this GBI, with the group intervention training. So. Just want to throw that in, but it's actually it's taking place, as we speak.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So,
Go ahead, yeah.
thank you. So if I understand correctly, this is a basically consulting position. They have the experience in violence prevention. They're gonna work with our local leaders to implement a plan.
That would be correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Do we have staff yet in the Office of Violence Prevention?
We have a wonderful opportunity tomorrow afternoon. We have 4 candidates that will be interviewing.
Okay. And is there a timeline for that implementation of the work that this group will do beyond the work they're doing with the county?
Sure, as soon as we get a person in place, in the position, then they will start working. We've already had several conversations about what ifs and what could be,
Okay.
and exploring some different options and opportunities. At the same time, we've been waiting for this position to be filled, which again, is one of our team. Okay. Yeah, we're really quite a candidate. Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
yeah, it is. Isn't it?
Thank you. Thank you. Gordon, would you like to make a motion on this item?
I'll move to approve.
A second.
All right. Properly moved by Vice Chair Horton and seconded by Alder Patrick. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Let me go back over the item of 0600-23. That was just properly moved and properly seconded. I didn't repeat that, so. All right, thank you. Keep going to the next one.
Next item, 0678-23, subject communication sponsored by Alder Horton on behalf of the Public Health Administrator, requested permission to accept $21,000 from the state of Wisconsin Department of Health Services for local public health departments HIV prevention partner service contract grant control number 00511 Staff recommendation that the Public Health Department be authorized to enter into an agreement and accept funding from the state of Wisconsin Department of Health Services for local public health departments, HIV prevention, partner services contract, grant control number 00511. Fiscal note grant amount is $21,000. There is no match required. Contract period 01/01/2023 through 12/31/2023. And Commissioner Fox.
Thank you again. So this is an ongoing contract that we've had used for multiple years. Again, $21,000 for the HIV prevention partner services. Now, these are individuals within the community, within the county that have been identified as HIV positive. We advocate for them, we help them with testing, we help them understand the circumstances. We do the partner notification and contact, have discussion with family members and again, partners, so that everyone clearly understands the circumstances with this individual, or the loved one, or the friend being determined to be HIV positive.
Right. Any questions at this time? Seeing none, I entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Second. All right, properly moved by Alderman, and seconded by Vice Chair. For item 0678-23, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Sorry.
Item 0679-23, subject communication sponsored by Alder Horton on behalf of the Public Health Administrator, requesting permission to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade and Consumer Protection Department for weights and measures inspection services. Staff recommendation that the city of Racine be authorized to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Weights for weights and measures inspection services. Fiscal note, annual fees payable to the department shall be in the amount of $12,750, except as otherwise agreed upon for succeeding contract periods and are included in the annual budget. And Administrator Powers.
Thank you. Again, at the same point, this is an ongoing agreement that we have stayed with the state of Wisconsin. Basically, these monies are pass-through funds, so they provide them to us, and then in turn, they have contractors that we deal with through the state of Wisconsin for the weights and measurements. Grocery store, retail facilities, outlets, gas stations, convenience stores and such, anyone that would weigh something, these individuals come in to make sure that the devices which are used for the weighing and scanning are accurate and calibrated appropriately.
Any questions? All right, I'll make a motion to approve 0679-23, right? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, I need a second, sorry. Second, all right. Moving too fast. Second by Vice Chair. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item.
Item 0680-23, subject communication sponsored by Alder Horton on behalf of the Public Health Administrator, requesting permission to enter into an agreement and accept $27,821 from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources for the beach monitoring program, grant control number 00512. Staff recommendation that the Public Health Department be authorized to enter into an agreement and accept funding from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources for the beach monitoring program, grant control number 00512. Fiscal note, grant amount is $27,821. There is no match required. Administrator Bauersachs.
This is again an ongoing contract that we have. The funds provide a reimbursement to cover the lab supplies, the mileage, and salaries for 2 summer interns for 14 different sites here, bathing beach sites here in Southeast Wisconsin. We provide the testing and sampling from South Milwaukee to Pleasant Prairie. Again, the 2 interns throughout, they sample, we bring them back to the lab, we analyze, take a peek at them, see how much E. coli, if there's any within the water, decide if the bathing beaches need to be open or closed, and then report back to the jurisdiction.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve 0680-23.
I'll second.
All right, properly moved and second by Alder Paffra. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item 0681-23, subject communication sponsored by Alder Horton on behalf of the Public Health Administrator, requesting permission to accept $50,731.60 from the state of Wisconsin Department of Health Services Public Health Vending Machine Program contract. Grant control number 00518. Staff recommendation that the Public Health Department be authorized to enter into an agreement and accept funding from the state of Wisconsin Department of Health Services Public Health Vending Machine Program contract. Grant control number 00518. Fiscal note grant amount is $50,731.60. There is no match required. Public Health Administrator Dawes.
This is a new grant for us, so, I think when I had a conversation with the city administrator and the mayor was like, oh my God, I gotta keep vending machines for you, and I'm like, no, just take it back. So this vending machine in particular is gonna be at the transit center. We've had multiple conversations with Trevor about this. But this vending machine, what will happen is that it will have Narcan, naloxone, it'll have CPR masks, and then educational materials in there. So most of our drug overdoses happen in the 03 and the 04 zip code in the city. Right now, through the month of June, we've had 24 that have been reported and responded to by either the fire department or the police department. So what will happen is that individuals will come into the health department, they will go through the education and training on how to use these medications and under what circumstances. They will be given an individual code, and then they can go to the transit center if they don't wish to pick those materials up here at the health department, and put the code in, and then they'll drop to the machine and then they can take them home. The code can be used repeatedly, so if the circumstances are such that they need to use more than one dose and such, they can go to the transit center. Trevor's been great to deal with on this. We've had many conversations, and the staff at the transit center will be taught about the Narcan and the naloxone. The CPR mask will give them orientation and training on what all these pieces are that will be in the vending machines. So the first one in the city, we've got vending machine, we've got supplies, we do have some insurance, the software for punching in the numbers and the keypad, but we're also going to install a security camera. So that staff there can watch, and we can be aware if there's anything that happens with the vending machine that's not appropriate.
Any questions? Seeing none, I'll make a motion to approve 068. One or four?
One.
1-23, I'm sorry. All those in favor say aye. Or second. Sorry. Make it second.
Second.
Second, properly moved by the chair and seconded by Alderman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Next item.
Item 0684-23, subject communication sponsored by Alder Horton on behalf of the Public Health Administrator, requesting permission to apply and accept funding for around $50,000 from the state of Wisconsin Department of Health Services for the HIV Life Care and Early Intervention Service Grant, grant control number 00519. Staff recommendation that the Public Health Department be authorized to apply and accept funding for around $50,000 from the state of Wisconsin Department of Health Services for the HIV Life Care and Early Intervention Services Grant, grant control number 00519. Fiscal note grant amount is anticipated to be around $50,000. There is no match required. And Public Health Administrator, Lowry Sachs.
That's how you say that, sorry. And this is a new endeavor for us. As I've already mentioned, ours approves our HIV. We see those individuals again that have been newly diagnosed, individuals that have been previously diagnosed that move to the area, and individuals that have family and friends that have been diagnosed. With this, this will give us the opportunity to distribute the PrEP medication, and that's the medication for individuals who are not HIV positive, but they interact with individuals who are. This will give them an opportunity for medication as well as a laboratory testing. Blood tests for this have to be completed every 3 months. There's also interactions about their lifestyle, who they're with, when they're with them, what they're doing, other activities that they're involved with. So we'll be looking at kidney function, hepatitis B, HIV tests to confirm that they're not positive. And then also we have a panel of STD or STI tests that will be done with this as well. So this initial funds are to pilot it to see if it's going to be successful, if there's a desire or need in the community for this medication and follow-up testing. At the same point, this this contract, we have 2 one-year extensions that we can apply for if this is successful.
Any questions? Seeing none, I entertain a motion at this time.
To approve.
Second.
Properly moved by the vice chair and seconded by Alderman Paffrath. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 0603-23, subject communication sponsored by Alder West on behalf of the city attorney's office, submitting the claim of Clarence Mitchell for consideration for disallowance. Staff recommendation that the claim be disallowed. No fiscal note not applicable. The deputy city attorney, Rubik, here to speak to the item.
Sorry.
Clarence Mitchell claims reimbursement in the amount of $45,000 for damages that allegedly arose from an auto collision in which he was the passenger. The vehicle he was traveling in struck a City of Racine Police Department vehicle over the intersection of English Street and Geneva Street back on May 29th, 2022. He only incurred $11,388 in medical expenses. Not all were directly related to this accident. Where the city disputes the amount of damages claimed. Also, the city has some questions about its liability in this accident. So we recommend that you disallow the claim of Clarence Mitchell.
Any questions? Any questions? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Move this one out.
Second, okay. Properly moved by the chair, vice chair, and seconded by Alderman Land. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Item 0618-23, subject communication sponsored by Alder West on behalf of the city attorney's office, submitting the claim of Demare D. Cook for consideration for disallowance. Staff recommendation that the claim be disallowed, fiscal note NA, deputy city attorney Rubik.
Marty D. Cook claimed reimbursement. He didn't specify the amount, which is required by law to claim. But he said that there were damages to his vehicle, which was illegally parked when it was struck by a Department of Public Works vehicle back on February 27th of this year. Not only was the claim improperly filed, the city disputes the amount of damages claimed and its liability for that. Had his vehicle been legally parked, this accident wouldn't have happened. So we recommend disallowance of this claim as well.
Any questions? I'll make a motion to disallow 0618-23.
Second.
All right, quickly moved by the chair and seconded by the vice chair. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Next item.
Item 0614-23, subject communication sponsored by Alder West on behalf of the city attorney's office, submitting the claim of Travelers Deals with Wheels LLC for consideration for disallowance. Staff recommendation that the claim be disallowed, fiscal note NA, deputy city attorney Rubin.
This claim was filed by Travelers on behalf of their insured, which is a company called Deals with Wheels. And the driver of the vehicle, his name is Robert Paul Deal, and he also similarly owns Deals with Wheels. They claim reimbursement in the amount of $6,190.80 that allegedly arose from an accident involving a Racine fire truck that was responding to a call with lights and emergency sirens activated. When it allegedly struck the illegally parked Deals with Wheels vehicle in the 3100 block of Washington Avenue that Robert Paul Deal was operating back on November 17, 2022. Not only was this claim improperly filed with the police department as opposed to the clerk's office, which makes it flawed in its filing, but the city disputes the damages claimed and its liability for those damages. Again, but for the illegally parked vehicle, it wouldn't have been hit by the city fire truck. So we recommend disallowance of this claim.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion at this time.
We disallow 0614-2.
Second.
Second.
Properly moved by the vice chair and properly seconded by Alderman Land. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Next item.
Item 0644-23, subject communication sponsored by Alder West on behalf of the city attorney's office, submitted a claim of Country Preferred Insurance Company, AKA Country Financial, for consideration for disallowance. Staff recommendation that the claim be disallowed, fiscal note NA. Deputy City Attorney Rubik.
So this claim was filed by Country Preferred Insurance Company by its attorneys, Itchy Geiger, on behalf of the insured driver, Roy Lee Pritchett. We have a lot of different people involved in this. For $6,060.55 for damages allegedly arising from a car accident involving a DPW vehicle back on January 7th, 2022. In fact, the city's been working with Itchy Geiger and Country Preferred and trying to get this settled. I think we're close, but due to the number of signatures that we need to get and just the timing of all this, I wanted to bring this for disallowance just in case we're unable to settle or unable to get all parties to sign off. By disallowing this claim, even if it does get settled, it protects the interests of the city by limiting the statute of limitations that they could, essentially the time frame in which they can sue us from 3 years down to 6 months. So after 6 months, their lawsuit would no longer be ripe for filing. So this is just an extra level of protection for the city, even though I think this probably will be resolved shortly.
Any questions? I'll make a motion to disallow 0644-23. Can I get a second? Second. Probably moved by the chair and seconded by the vice chair. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Next item.
Item 0676-23, subject communication sponsored by Mayor Mason on behalf of the city administrator, requesting permission to enter into an agreement with the Racine County Convention and Visitors Bureau, Incorporated, DBA Visit Racine County for tourism promotion and tourism development. Staff recommendation that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to enter into an agreement with Racine County Convention and Visitors Bureau, Incorporated, DBA Visit Racine County for tourism promotion and tourism development services. Fiscal note room tax shared with Visit Racine County will be 70% of room tax collected. Sharon estimate for 2023 is $250,000. City Administrator Warren Holt is here to speak on the item.
Chair, committee members, so this is in follow-up to the committee of the whole presentation that the newly rebranded Visit Racine County gave you last month. So the contract before you, a couple highlights from, we have an expired contract right now, so we don't have a contract with them now, so this would be a new contract that would be executed with them. A couple differences or highlights, I guess, from the previous contract. One is that we're increasing the amount of room tax that the city is keeping. Previous contract kept 15%, we're increasing that to 30%, which is the maximum allowed under state statute under this tourism. I'm sorry, the tourism agreement that if you enter into with the tourism entity. The other is the previous agreement was a length of 3 years. We moved this to an annual contract with the proviso of 6 months. Each party has the right to exit the agreement if they so choose. They're not satisfied for one reason or the other. The third addition and more strongly section would be preserving and having them acknowledge that we may at some point want to do a redevelopment of our convention and a new hotel conference center downtown that was once proposed. And we would need more room taxes for that. That is allowable under state statute. So it provides for a negotiation with Visit Real Racine to get more of our room tax devoted to that project. If we couldn't come to an agreement, we would automatically terminate the agreement, which therefore would put the city in a better negotiating standpoint. So room taxes.
Any questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion at this time.
Motion approved. Second.
Moved by Alder Paffrath and seconded by Alder Lamb. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries. Next item.
Next two items are closed session. Would you like me to read them?
Yep, please.
It is intended that the Finance and Personnel Committee will convene in closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19-851G to discuss strategy for litigation in which the city of Racine is currently involved.
I think I need to make a motion to enter into it, right? All right, so I'll make a motion at this time to enter into closed session. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, now we can.
Alder West,
Yes.
Alder Horton,
Aye.
Alder Lamb,
Aye.
Alder Paffrath,
Aye.
Alder McCarthy is excused. That completes roll call to go into closed session. Just give me a moment to shut everything down.